Hey there everybody, it's Mark Curley. I'm back with another How to Draw video. Sorry it's been so long since I did one of these, but I was very busy finishing up Brody's Ghost Book 2 for Dark Horse. That's all done now, so I can get back to doing videos like this. Today I am going to be showing you how to draw 4 different ways to draw manga hair, 2 girls, 2 boys. So let's not waste any more time, let's get to it. Okay, so let's get started with this one. I've left quite a lot of space up here because she's going to have her hair pulled up into kind of a bun at the top of her head. I'm going to begin by putting in a sort of a guideline here to show me where the top of the hair is going to be. Notice that it is kind of floating a little bit of a distance above the scalp, this guideline, you know, the top of the head that I'd put in there. Just by putting this in here, this is going to give me a sense of where to lay in the different strands of hair later on. Let's go ahead and start dividing this into spaces. I'm going to make sort of a triangular shape that comes in here above one eye, and that's going to be showing me where to put this first kind of wave of hair that starts to come down across her head. In fact, I'm going to separate this right here because this whole section is like its own section of hair. Let's pull up here with another sort of V-shaped line and make a second strand, maybe group of strands might be more accurate, that comes across like that. I'm going to make one final strand that comes over here, but it's actually tucked behind a nice long strand of hair that comes down along the side of the face. You see this in a lot of manga hairstyles, this sort of attractive strand of hair that comes down next to the ears. In fact, I'll go ahead and put another one over here that balances that out. Now I'm going to go ahead and indicate this, like I said, this bun of hair that gets pulled up on the top. Pay attention to the proportions with the rest of the hair. I'd say it's about, I don't know, half the width here is like half the width of the hairstyle itself. You don't want it too large, you don't want it too small. Even this thing divides into a couple of different sections. I think there's a little section back here, and then I'm going to have fanning out lines that come across here. And breaking this, you know, what first looked like kind of an egg shape, I'm going to be breaking this into different strands of hair that make up that bun. And just to give it a little pizzazz, I'm going to throw in some lines over here of stray hairs that they're not really stray. It's probably, you know, it's part of the hairstyle. They do it on purpose. But I think this is a nice kind of hairstyle, sort of an elegant for the, you know, a night out on the town kind of hairstyle. I'm going to go ahead and dash in a few more lines, but I think we're almost ready to switch pencils. I'm using an ordinary number 2 pencil here. We're almost ready to switch pencils and go in for the final lines. Let me just show you one last section here where, again, the lines are kind of fanning out as they tuck back behind the ear. And again, you can break this smooth line into sort of a jagged, almost zigzag line to indicate how that hair breaks into strands. I'm going to add just 1 or 2 last stray hairs down here, which I think makes it just a little more interesting. Maybe put another over here to balance that out. And let me do this next bit in time-lapse because I'm trying to do quite a lot in this video, but maybe I can come back and give some pointers after I'm done. Okay, so you can see what I did there. I had brought out this black Prismacolor pencil to do the final lines. I erased some of the guidelines with this kneaded eraser, and then I came back in to add some toning with just an ordinary number 2 pencil, a Dixon Ticonderoga. And I won't be repeating this information every time, but it's the same thing that I'm going to do, the same pattern I'm going to follow in the other 3 hairstyles. And so you can see, you could spend a lot of time adding further elements of toning here to make this look more 3D, but I'm going to move on right now to the next hairstyle, and this time it's going to be a boy's hairstyle, so let's get to it. All right, so again, I'm going to start with some guidelines here. I think the key difference, at least in this style that I'm doing today, the key difference between the male and the female hairstyles is that the male hairstyle is going to be a lot spikier. It's going to be composed of kind of straighter lines. You know, of course, you're not trying to go for that same elegant look that I was going for last time. Again, notice the gap here between where the skull, the top of the scalp would be, and the hair. Leave a space there to give volume to the hair. And this guy's hair kind of is in a loose part, I guess you'd call it. And I'm going to put a line that comes up like this. And right across here, I'm not going to go all the way across, but that's where the hairline at the top of the forehead is going to be. And so I'm creating two sections here, one that comes all the way up here and then cuts back down. And this is the dividing point between two sections of the hair. One section of spikes, spiky strands of hair that's going to come down here, curving off to the left, and maybe indicate a few lines coming back here to show where this hair is all coming from. And then over here, this first strand here, I don't know if it even really looks like a strand at this point, but this begins a whole wave of slightly curved, spiky strands of hair that are fanning across the top of the forehead. And I find even with the male hairstyles, you'll sometimes see a little strand of hair that comes down here next to the ear. Generally not as long as what you see with the female hairstyles, but that's what I see often, even in the male hairstyles. And let's continue this kind of branching out of lines here. All of these lines indicate that the hair is flowing out from a central point right here. I don't know, sort of upper left of the top of the scalp. And I'm just going to keep these lines flowing back here. There's a little bit of an angle here, and that comes off down across here. I always like to have sometimes a little strand, stray strand of hair to give it more of a natural look, so that's what that's doing there. In fact, let's do one like that over here that kind of pops off from that section. Again, just gives it more of a natural look. And we're almost done. I'm going to put a few lines back here to show the hair that's sort of tucked behind the ear. And I always like to have 2 or 3 really small strands of hair that come out behind the ear at the back of the head, just to kind of finish things off. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4 of them here. And I think that does it for the guidelines. Like I did last time, you're going to see me finish this all off in time lapse, but I think you get the routine now. We're going to start off with the final lines and then just move right on to the toning. All right, well, there you have it. I think this is sort of a nice basic male hairstyle, not too feminine looking as you see some of the manga hairstyles can be, but not this super tough macho guy either. It's sort of between those two extremes. And I hope you can make use of this style and, you know, play around with it and do variations of your own. Let's move on to the next one. All right, this time we're going to be doing a girl with kind of wavy hair. And notice with this one that the hair is not coming so high up off the top of the head, just a little bit of a gap there. I've done one, I did a video that had like curly hair, and I've done straight hair, but I don't know if I've ever tried to do wavy hair like this. So hopefully you'll find this useful. I'm going to put one line up here, a little closer to the top of the head than it is to the eyebrows. And from there, I'm going to go ahead and make a few lines here that sort of indicate, not really bangs, but just sort of strands of hair that are coming off the top of her forehead. And, if you wanted to, you could turn these into bangs. I'm just, for fun, trying a different style here. And once we've got that in place, then we can kind of move on to the wavy section. which is what this lesson is really all about. So let's start with a few lines up here coming off the side of the head, and let's get a nice long, gently waving line that comes down here right around to where the shoulder is before it curves back and makes a little bit of an S shape, and that'll be the end of her hair as it reaches down there, kind of curving out and then back again. And we're going to make a second line that sort of defines this whole section of hair. Notice that it's wider up here, gets narrower as it reaches the end. And this creates two different sections of hair. We're going to make a bunch of kind of flowing lines down here, more of these lines towards the bottom of this section than towards the top. And then just back here, let's complete this looping section at the bottom, maybe add one or two lines in there. And I'm going to make a separate section where the lines are at a slightly different angle to suggest a whole nother section of hair that's there at the back of the head. Maybe one or two lines up here to kind of define the structure of the hair. And just back here we can finish this off. I'm going to toss in just a little indication of hair that's being pulled back over there. And then finally, we will finish this off with, starting right around her eyebrow, there is a second, I guess vaguely S-shaped, again, section of hair here that flows and balances out the hairstyle. And as always, I like to add these sort of extra stray strands of hair. So I'm going to give her this little strand of hair coming off here. And just to finish this section off, a few more of these S-shaped lines. Notice how, this whole hairstyle requires a lot of gentle curving lines. Quite different from the male hairstyle. And, I gotta say, practice makes perfect to make confidently long curving lines like this. I don't always get it right myself, so I'll toss in just one more of these little strands of hair by the ear that I see so often in manga hairstyles, and maybe that's it for this. I'm going to go ahead and finish off the drawing. All right, well, we're pretty much done with this one. One thing to take note of is the different areas of highlight, these areas that I leave kind of white. That helps give the hair a silky, shiny look. And you'll notice in pretty much all of these drawings there is some sort of highlight indication when I do the shading. Let's go ahead and move on to the very last drawing. All right, well, I've done a number of how to draw hair videos over the years, but I have certainly never shown how to draw a guy with a ponytail before, so that's what we're going to do here, and that's why I've had him sort of in profile, almost turning away from us, so that we can really see the ponytail when it comes time to draw that. So I'm going to start by making a kind of a V shape right here. This is going to be a strand of hair, or several strands of hair that come over here in front across the forehead and over across the cheek. And I may break this into like one or two small strands towards the end. And then I'm going to go ahead and follow along. This time, again, the hair is pulled pretty tightly across his scalp, and so that means that I'm leaving just a very small gap there across, between the line of the hair and the line of the top of the head. Back here, when we get near the base of the skull, this is basically the section where everything gets pulled into a ponytail. So I'm going to make a little note of that right here, and then we'll come back to that in a second. I'm going to go ahead and make several curving lines that are pulling back to that ponytail area. And as we reach the middle of the head, those lines sort of straighten out and then reverse so that they're curving in the opposite direction. And let's go ahead and indicate quickly sort of the hairline at the back of the head. And I'm just going to make a kind of a jagged series of lines here for that. And here you're going to have a whole series of tight little curved lines kind of fanning out, pulling in toward the ponytail. And then, you know, at this stage, it's kind of up to you how long or how short you make lines. I'm going to have this break into about 3 strands, but very narrow. And one last thing to finish this off, I'm going to indicate a few strands of hair over here on the other side of the head. I got to stop saying the word indicate. I just keep saying it over again. Let's indicate this. Sorry about that, folks. I run out of ways to describe what I'm doing here. But we're going to make a couple of strands of hair here, and just 1 or 2 to kind of finish things, you know, to show. See, I didn't say the word indicate there. To show the hair on the other side of the head as he's turned away from us. Well, it's that time again. I'm going to go ahead and jump in to do the final lines and the toning, but I'll be back to give you some final words. Okay, well, that kind of wraps this one up. I hope you enjoyed that. I think it'll be useful for some people who want to draw. This guy almost looks kind of like a bad guy with the long ponytail. But that's up to you. You can turn him into any type of character you want him to be. I'm going to pull back so we can see all 4 of the hairstyles at once and just wrap things up and send you all on your way. Okay, well, there you have it. 4 different ways of drawing manga hair. I hope you found this helpful. I want to thank everyone who has bought my manga series, Miki Falls, published by HarperCollins. I really appreciate your support. And those of you who've got my newer series, Brody's Ghost, which is published by Dark Horse. Both of them hopefully available in your local store. If not, I greatly appreciate if you ask them to special order it. And of course, there's always Amazon and all those great online book sellers. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed making it for you. Thank you so much for subscribing, for leaving your comments, for all that you do for me. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thanks for watching my videos, my friends, and I'll be back with another one real soon.